Hey guys, welcome back today for another video. I'm Nicole. Thank you so much for watching. Today's video is going to be my makeup inventory. Before we jump in, I just want to say that I freaking love this hoodie so much. It says Modern Day Goddess and it's just like a little cropped hoodie and it's so cute and it's from the shop Feminist Goods Co. So I just wanted to tell you that because I love it. It's so soft and cozy. Anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so these numbers are from June 2020, so from last month. So it's kind of before my recent declutter and my recent haul. So just keep that in mind. And I also have the numbers from my very first makeup inventory, which I never like recorded or anything, but it's from January 2019, and that's when I first like started tracking these numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna start with is primers, and in January 2019 I had 8 primers. In December 2019 I had 9, and now I have 7. And I think 7 primers is like a fine number of primers. It's like, you know, a couple different categories, a couple different kinds, like some favorites and staples, some like new ones to try. So I don't really have like a problem with that number. I think it's fine. The next thing is foundation, and in January so just the first number I say is going to be January 2019, and then it'll be December 2019, and then June 2020, so I don't have to keep like saying the dates all over again. But so the first one was 16, and then it was 7, and then it was 6 in June. And I think 6 is definitely a much better number than 13 foundations. That's a lot of foundations. And I feel okay with the number 6. I don't think it's too many. I don't think it's too few. I think 5 foundations is probably like a good thing to aim for, but I should be there fairly soonish. So yeah, I think that's the number that I would just like to keep my foundation collection at. And then foundation mixers, I used to have 1 of those and now I have none. So I might get rid of that category soon. Concealers was 7, 4, and 4. And 4 concealers is kind of a lot in my opinion, and I like, it sounds probably silly, but I have like 1 concealer that I really like, and then I like trying new concealers but really like, so it's kind of like excessive for me to have more than like 3. And I do know that that number is not exactly the same anymore because I did get rid of some. So yeah, I mean I'm okay with it being 4, but in the future I'd like to only have like 3 concealers at one time. All right, next is color correctors. I used to have 2, then 1, and then 1, so I have 1 now, and it's just the Becca like under eye corrector thing is what I'm counting as a color corrector, and I think that's fine. I think some people prefer color correctors, some people don't, and like I'm kind of one of those people who like, well, I use them sometimes but not all the time. I'm fine with just having 1 though, so that's okay. Next is facial sprays, so setting sprays, face sprays, all that kind of stuff, and I used to have 6 and then 3, and then now I have 4, and 4 is kind of excessive. Just a little. I think I would prefer to have like 3 2 or 3. I feel like that's like the right amount for me. Like I have a couple sprays that I like really like, and those are just the ones that I want to use, so having more than that just feels like not necessary. Now powders, these are specifically referring to loose powders. So I used to have 7, then I had 5, and now I have 7. And this is completely excessive for me because I don't even use loose powder anymore. But it's one of those things where I can't like give it away or sell it because they've been opened, and I mean I could probably give it away to my sister, but I don't think she really uses powder, so it's sort of like, what's the point? And a lot of them are like higher end ones, like the Milk Makeup one, the Too Faced peach one, Hourglass. So I am holding on to them for now, and I think that after I finish or like check in with my next project pan, I think, not that I finished what's in it, but I think that I might bring in a loose powder just so that I can like try to get some use out of it, especially at a time of year where I'm a little more oily. So I definitely think 7 is like way excessive for loose powder for me personally, and that number could probably be 1 or even 2. I'm a little stuffy, I don't know if you can tell. I think it's like because it's getting warmer outside, so we have the air going, but yeah, a little stuffy. Okay, so for pressed powders, I used to have 3, then 2, and I still have 2 right now. And I technically have 3 because I bought that Flower Beauty one, but that was in July, so. But yeah, I definitely think that 3 for me personally is like too many because I have 1 pressed powder that I really like, and that's pretty much all I want to use. So I don't think 3 is too much, but I would like to get the other 1 out of my collection pretty soon, and then make a decision on the other one that I have and go from there. So mascaras, my number was 12, 12, and then 9. And mascara is one of those things that like cycles in and out of my collection like so quickly. I feel like I always have new mascaras that I'm like adding to my backup drawer, and then because I try to cycle them out like every 3 months, so it's like bringing in new stuff. So yeah, that's a number that's like, I kind of wish I had just had more like 5, like maybe 2 that I was using and then 3 on backup, but that, like, that's the only way that's gonna happen is if I don't buy anymore. So, and I just bought 2 more, so I should probably work on that and be a little more mindful about my mascara purchasing and consumption habits. Next is eyeshadow primers. I used to have 3, then I had 1, and now I have 2. And I think I'm counting my MAC paint pot as that, and then my NYX glitter glue. So I think those 2 products are fine to have. They're 2 products that I use fairly frequently, so I'm okay with that. Next is eyeliners. I used to have 9, then I had 5, and now I have 4, and that makes sense because I don't use eyeliner on like a super regular basis. And I have like a couple different colors, like purple, brown, black, probably, yeah. And I think I have an extra black one. And those are just like things that I use sometimes, not all the time. I'd probably use them more if we were like going out doing things more frequently, but since we're home, like I'm not really putting eyeliner on. So yeah, I'm okay with that number though. I don't think that that's like crazy, but like these are not sections where like I used to have a ton of products. Like we're gonna get to that. Next is gel eyeliners, and I used to have 2, and then I had 1, and now I have 1, and those are just like pot eyeliners. And the one that I have is like my Vamp stamp, which I don't really use very often, so I should probably check and see if that's like dried out or still usable. But yeah, that's all I have for that. Next is single eyeshadows, and for this I used to have 18, and then I went to 11, and now I still have 11. For something that like I don't really use that frequently, I don't know if I really like need single eyeshadows, really. I don't know, that's probably something I should evaluate and see where I'm at. Next is liquid eyeshadows. I used to have 11, then 10, and then 7. And liquid eyeshadows are just something that I like want to use every now and then. And like I count like my Stila liquid glitter ones as like liquid eyelash shadows and stuff like that. So I don't know, like I do use them on occasion, just not like all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I could probably go through and like some of them might be dried out and stuff like that and just see where I'm at with all those things. But yeah, I think I'm okay with having 11, but I do think I could like cut that down a little bit because I don't really use them that frequently. And then glitters. I had 18, then I had 18, and I still have 18, and that's because I have the Zodiac set from ColourPop with Kathleen Light, and I really do not use them all that frequently. I don't even think I've broken them out this year, so yeah. But I don't really want to get rid of any of them. Yeah, we'll see about that, but 18 loose glitters of something that I don't even use is like maybe perhaps like a little excessive, I don't know. And then blushes, which blush is like one of my favorite makeup products, so I have quite a bit of blush, and I used to have 30, and then I had 24, and then in June I had 22, and that's a lot of blushes. I know that there are still a handful of blushes in my drawer that I like don't use, can't tell you the last time I used, don't even really know if I like them anymore. 22 is like definitely one of my higher categories, so yeah, I definitely think that's like an area I could consider cutting down in. And then we also have liquid and cream blushes, of which I had 0, 0, and then 5, so that's like a new addition to my collection where I'm just really getting more into like cream cheek products and just cream products in general. So I'm okay with that for now, but I do want to kind of, you know, make sure it doesn't grow incredibly more, because I mean between the 2 of those that's like 27 blushes, and like I have one face. And for highlighters, I used to have 21, and then 15, and then 14, and I feel like 14 is a good amount of highlighters. It's like I have a couple different like lighter, you know, more like everyday kind of wear glowy powder highlighters. Then I have some like medium intensity ones, like the couple different colors, like pink shifts, purple shifts, whatever. And then I have a really glowy blinding highlighter, and I feel like I've been keeping a good handle on my highlighter collection. Like I don't think it's really gotten out of control, so I feel like maybe 10 is like a better number for highlighters, like more realistic. But again, I'm not mad at 14, so we'll just leave that there. And then liquid highlighters, I had 3, 3, and 2. And again, that's fine with me. I like my liquid highlighters. So here's where we've seen a really big reduction in my lip products over time. So in January 2019, I had 81 bullet lipstick, 81. And then I decluttered a ton of lipsticks over the course of 2019. I like slowly got rid of them, and then now I have 18, and that's what I had at the end of 2019. And I definitely know that some of them have been switched out with like new ones that I bought, but 81 to 18 bullet lipsticks is great. That's really intense, and I feel like 18 is like a much more manageable, realistic collection. I'm happy with it being at 18. I really don't want the lip products that I have to like not fit in my lip organizer, and I think that holds like 30, so as long as I don't go above that, I'm okay with that number. So I think 18 is great. And then lip liners, I had 18, 11, and then 9. And 9 is still, it's probably a high amount of lip liners because there's definitely some I don't use that often, but again, I do like lip liner and I do use it, so I'm okay with that number. Lip glosses, I used to have 4, and then I have 9, and now I have 9. And 9 lip glosses is kind of a lot because I don't love lip gloss, but I still can't figure out which ones I want to get rid of, so that's kind of a work in progress. It is something that I don't use that often, so 9 might be like a little bit a lot, but again, we'll just see how that is in the next few months and just, you know, go with it. Liquid lipsticks. In January of 2019, I had 89 liquid lipsticks. 89. And then in December 2019, I had 52 liquid lipstick. So I did manage to get rid of quite a bit, but I still had over 50. And then when I did this in June, I had 36, which I'm pretty sure I have less than that now because I decluttered my lip products not too long ago. But still, 36 is like a lot. Hopefully I can get that number down a little bit because I'm definitely not reaching for those kinds of products right now, and they're just gonna sit there and go bad. So yeah, I really should reevaluate my lip products a little bit more. Bronzers, I was like, keep looking at my computer, so it's like hard to stare at the camera, but I had 7, 5, and 5. And when I did this, I had 5, and I think 5 is a fine number of bronzers. I'm not like a huge bronzer lover. It's hard for me to find like an undertone that I really like because I like them like slightly cooler, and I don't like them to be like too orange or yellow. I'm really picky about the bronzers that I have, and so yeah, I mean 5 that's fine with me. Cream bronzers, I had 3, 4, 3. I have 3 right now. 3 is fine. I do like using cream bronzer, so good with that. Brow product, I had 10, 6, and 4, and 4 is a fine number of brow products for me. I'm not like huge into brows. I don't know. I like the general shape of my brow. I like a loose, like more fluffy brow. It doesn't need to be like super defined or structured. So yeah, I'm not like huge on brow products, so that's cool. Then we have eyeshadow palettes, and in January of 2019 I had 67 eyeshadow palettes, and then in December 2019 I had 44, and now I have 41. And 41 eyeshadow palette is a lot. I don't know what my ideal eyeshadow palette collection is. I mean, I think I would be perfectly happy with somewhere between 10 and 15 palettes, but like I do really like a lot of the palettes that I have, so that's where I get into this like sticky situation because I still want them. I don't want to give them away. But yeah, I definitely think that's a number I could get down. Like I think maybe by the end of the year I'd be hopeful to get that down to like 30 eyeshadow palettes. I feel like that's a realistic goal. So yeah, we'll see where we're at the end of the year with that. And then finally, base palettes. I had 20, then 20, and now I have 14. And those are just kind of things that I've like slowly slid out of my life. I only reach for like certain base palettes, and then like there has to be like I have to use like most of the products in them, like 5 out of 6 or like whatever. So if I'm not doing that, then I tend to like pass them on, and I recently passed on a few that really didn't want to give up, but I decided to anyway. And yeah, so I mean 14 base palettes is definitely still a lot, but I included anything that was like not a duo in that. So like any like highlighter trios or blush trios, those are all included in like base palettes. So instead of just highlighters, because I feel like once you get above 2, it's kind of like you don't really just have one highlighter, you have 3. Yeah, I don't know, I included those in base palettes. But yeah, so my total size of my makeup collection right now, well, in June 2020, was 265 items. And when I first started taking my makeup inventory in January of 2019, I had 476 items. And that's a lot of like physical items to have in your life. And that's kind of why I started doing my own makeup inventory, even when I like didn't make videos about them or anything. Because I just thinking about like what I use in my life and what I have just to have is like, it's really like eye-opening to me, because why do I have all this clutter of stuff that's hanging around where I'm like forcing myself to use things just because I have them and not because I love them, when I have things that I love that are just sitting there and not getting used because I'm like, well, I have to use this other thing because I have it, despite the fact that I have this thing that I love. Like, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's why I mostly just started to really dig into my collection and my buying habits, what I'm using, what I'm not using, what I actually like, what I don't like. And I love makeup and I love trying new beauty products and like new things that come out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with buying things and trying them and having an opinion on them, and you know, but like these are all consumable products that are just like sitting and like going bad in my drawers. And like I've definitely had makeup go bad on me before, and it's just like at the end of the day, like it's colorful powder we put on our face and wash off at the end of the day. And I mean, I love it and like that's fine, but at the same time I don't need like a huge amount of this stuff. Like I don't think it's smart for me to be spending my money that way like constantly, and I don't think it's smart to just have stuff that sits there and doesn't get used. So yeah, that's my main motivation for doing this, and hopefully it inspires you to like look at your collection maybe a little differently and maybe pass on things that you know you don't like and are happy to give them a new home. So, but I just want to end this with saying that from when I first started my makeup inventory until now, I have reduced my collection by over 44%, and I'm so happy with that. Like I feel like I'm really refining my taste of like what I like in my makeup collection and what I want to do with my makeup and like how I consume products. So yeah, if you like this video, I'd love if you subscribe and join me here. I definitely will do another one of these at the end of this year to see where we are. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!